Okay, hey everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree, and today is my Ghostbusters retrospective. Ghostbusters is a media franchise that started out as a sci-fi horror comedy in 1984, and then kind of sort of exploded. Literally overnight, and then it became a comic book and a cartoon and a toy line and a video game and everything else. Once upon a time, we had a pair of Ghostbusters movies, and this was the way it was for like 20, 30 years. And then all of a sudden, we got a new Ghostbuster movie. There was some backlash to it, and then we got a new franchise. Which we're on our second entry, which is technically the fourth entry in the franchise, if you don't count the 2016, I guess. So yeah, there's a lot to talk about with Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters is something I grew up with. I was born in 82. Ghostbusters hit theaters in 84. So as far as my brain goes, my life experiences, it was always there. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember a time where there was no such thing as Ghostbusters. It was usually my go-to rental if I went to the video store. It was like my first option was Star Wars. It was rented out. Then I went to Ghostbusters. If it was rented out, I went to Gremlins. If it was rented out, then I was wandering around for an hour and a half looking for something to watch. Because I wanted to watch Ghostbusters. It was the movie I wanted to watch. If I was in the mood to watch a movie, it was Ghostbusters. You know, it was just the thing I did. You know, I would say I've probably seen the original 1984 Ghostbusters more than any other movie. Now, I know mathematically you would say, oh, that makes it your favorite movie. No, my favorite movie is Nightmare on Elm Street. My reasoning for that is I enjoy Nightmare on Elm Street more than I enjoy Ghostbusters. I guess. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But anyways, that also came out in 84, by the way. So my earliest memories of Ghostbusters are very fuzzy because, like I said, it was just always there. You know, it was always on TV. It was always the video. It was the tape we rented the most. It was just always on. And Ghostbusters 2, which I believe came out in 1988 or 89. I was like 5 or 6, maybe 7, 6 or 7 maybe, in that ballpark. Was the very first movie I ever saw in a theater, ever, as a kid. It was the very first movie my parents took me to go see. And my parents went to go see it opening night. It was like date night for them, I guess. And then they were so excited, they couldn't believe how unbelievably awesome it was. They had to take all of us kids the next day. They were like, oh, you've got to see Ghostbusters 2. It's awesome. They weren't wrong. It was awesome-ish. Kind of, sort of, at the time. But anyways, I guess when you're 7, you're not as picky. And then Saturday mornings, I would watch other cartoons. But one of the ones I would watch was The Real Ghostbusters, which had the characters from the movie. There was another cartoon called Ghostbusters, but we're not talking about that piece of rubbish. That needs to be forgotten. Please and thank you. Whoever owns the other Ghostbusters, would you please put it into the public domain so it would go the fuck away? Please. Thank you. We're over it. We're just over it. Alright? Collectively, as a society, we have decided that Dr. Venkman and his friends are the Ghostbusters. Your ape and 2 silly hillbillies, those are not Ghostbusters. So, just knock it off. Alright, Funimation? Knock it the fuck off. Alright. Anyways. So I do remember watching the cartoon regularly on Saturday mornings. Excuse me, I had to yawn. It is 5 o'clock in the morning and I've been up for about an hour or so. Trying to get these videos done. Damn. Anyways, so I do remember watching the cartoon, and I don't remember anything from it. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't a fan of cartoons as a kid. I watched them on Saturday mornings because there wasn't anything else. And there were some that I was like, I enjoyed, but for the most part, it was just background noise, because my brain was chaos, and I was just like, I would put the TV on and let the cartoons blast at full blast, because mom and dad were usually either asleep or at work, or they didn't give a shit. And I would be playing with my toys, or playing Nintendo, or just running around torturing my sisters, whatever. It was chaos. We were kids. What do you expect? But because we did have a Nintendo, and we had an Atari, I did buy Ghostbusters on the Atari 2600. Hey, I liked it, okay? I thought it was a fine game. Was it a great game? No. Is it as bad as people say? Also no. It's a fine game. Give it a shot. Learn how to play it first, and then play it right. Don't go into it and then hate it because you don't know how to play it. Read the goddamn instruction book. For Jesus Christ. Anyways. Yeah, I rented... There were, I believe, 2 different Ghostbusters games on the NES. One was Ghostbusters 2. And then I think the other one... Were there 2 NES games? I think it was just Ghostbusters 2. And then... I think the other one was European exclusive, so I don't think I played it. But yeah, there was definitely Ghostbusters. Oh no, there was the original Ghostbusters as well. Yeah, there were 2 on the NES. It was the same game as the Atari version, but it was, better graphics, better music. I wouldn't say better gameplay. It was the same gameplay. I also had that same exact game on the Commodore 64. Yeah, I thought it was a good game. Not a great game, but it wasn't a bad game. It was okay. And then in the 90s, Ghostbusters just disappeared. You would still see it on the Sci-Fi Channel or TBS playing pretty regularly, like very regularly. It was like always on TV. But other than that, there was nothing really happening in the 90s Ghostbusters related. There was a Sega Genesis game, and I think there was another video game out there somewhere, but I don't remember what system it was on, and I don't know if I'm remembering wrong. And then we didn't really get anything until about 2005, and I'm not talking about the Extreme Ghostbusters or whatever the fuck it was. I didn't even pay any attention to that shit. And then there was, in 2005, I believe it was, we got Ghostbusters the video game, which was kind of sort of supposed to be Ghostbusters 3, I guess. Or a stand-in for Ghostbusters 3. This was released on PS2, Xbox 360, Nintendo Wii, and PS3, and handhelds at the time. Maybe even PCs, I don't know. But it was like pretty much everywhere. Not a bad game. Not as good as people sing its praises, but not bad at all. It's a fine game. It's just, I think, a little overrated. It's not as good as people say it is, but it's not bad at all. It's just a good game. It's just like the NES one isn't as bad as people say it is. The PS2 one isn't as good as people say it is. But it's also not bad. It's just like, okay, it's good. It's just not, like, so good you can't not... your life is incomplete if you don't play it. No, it's not that good. That's Final Fantasy VII. If you've never played Final Fantasy VII, you have not lived yet. Go play Final Fantasy VII, and then now you can say you've lived. That's an experience. Ghostbusters was just a video game. And then we didn't really... we had comic books here and there, but they were just sort of like fringe indie comics, kind of things. Nothing special, nothing chart-topping or anything like that. And then in 2016, we got the controversial Answer the Call, which is the all-female Ghostbusters movie. Which, look, it's a fun movie. It is. It's a good movie. It's a funny movie. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. Give it a fair shake. It's not at all as bad as people say it is. Okay? It's an actual, legit funny movie. And then, again, nothing for about a decade almost. And then we got Ghostbusters Afterlife, which reinvigorated the brand, because then they brought the toys back, the comic books back, and then we got a sequel, the new one, what's it called? Frozen Empire or something like that. So that's sort of the overview history of Ghostbusters. You know, there are other things that are out there, but it was really big. As I break it down movie by movie, and I'm just going to go thumbs up, thumbs down. The original Ghostbusters is a thumbs up. That's it's thumbs up all across the board. There's not a thumbs down for me. I'm not gonna waste your time. I love them all. They're all good. I'm not even gonna bother with that. I've already reviewed these movies on my channel, my other channel, Horror Trans. They're all fantastic movies. I love them all, every one of them. My absolute favorite is the original, obviously, but I also like 2. I like Answer the Call. I liked Afterlife. You know, they're all good. I haven't seen one I didn't like. Haven't seen Frozen Empire yet, but, you know, I ain't got no money. You know, I'll see it when I get around to it. But in the meantime, Ghostbusters is pretty fun. Now, like I said, my personal experience, obviously, it was, you know, just always there. I rented it. It was the first movie I saw. Ghostbusters 2 was the first movie I saw in theaters. But it was also the first movie I bought on VHS with my money, the original Ghostbusters. And it was the first movie I bought on DVD. I bought the 2-pack. It was Ghostbusters 1 and 2 2-pack on DVD. It wasn't the first movie I bought on DVD, but it was one of the first. You know. It was the first movie I bought on DVD after the Christmas I got my DVD player. I'll put it to you that way. I got a DVD player for Christmas 2002, and I got movies that Christmas. And then Ghostbusters 1 and 2 2-pack was the first DVD I bought after Christmas. Because I had to have Ghostbusters. You got to have Ghostbusters. It was one of, not the first, but one of the first movies I bought on Blu-ray. One of the very few movies I own on digital. I don't own that many digitals, but I do own it. I have it on Vudu. I just love Ghostbusters. Fucking love it. It was the very first movie I downloaded for my iPod when I got an iPod video player back in, 2007, 8, somewhere in that ballpark. Very first movie I downloaded was fucking Ghostbusters, 1984. So I don't know, maybe I should revise maybe Ghostbusters is my favorite movie of all time. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it isn't Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't know. I just fucking love Ghostbusters. What else is there to say? Who doesn't love Ghostbusters? What else is there to say? It's been said to death. It's awesome. I don't have to tell you to watch it because you've already seen it 100 times.